Hey guys, so yeah, as you can see from that video, I was shooting some B-roll, and after that I was setting up the mount and getting the everything connected, all the the paraphernalia, and then I was onto the dew straps, and I was strapping one to the guide scope, which I'd just bought. And then I picked the main guide scope strap off the ground, and I noticed, I mean, it was quite foggy last night, or the other night, so I noticed, I mean, I could see my breath, in the moisture in the air. It was really quite a cold night. And then as I was picking the dew strap off the ground, I thought it was my breath at first, but then I had a second glance and I could see that it was a small wisp of smoke. And it's a good thing that I noticed it, because I looked at the cable where it goes into the heater band, and there was a small orange glow, and it basically was setting itself on fire. So I wasn't expecting that at all. But yeah, that was a bit of a kicker really, because that night on Friday was crystal clear, and yeah, basically it was just a whole night wasted. I don't know if it was, I think my polar alignment was off, and by that time I just couldn't be bothered to sort of redo it anyway, and I wasn't sure whether it was the polar alignment. But without guiding, even at 30-second subs, they just didn't look great on M45. So yeah, just one of those things really with astrophotography. You just have these setbacks sometimes, and there's so much that can, everything's got to sort of work in sequence, and it's like a chain of. Yeah, it's just like one sort of long chain, and all of these parts, or all these sort of cogs in the wheel have to be working properly, otherwise one thing that's out and that's it, the whole thing goes. So yeah, that was a bit annoying, and yeah, I carried on shooting anyway. I might have some subs out of the sort of 30-second images that I was getting on M45, so I'll see how they turn out. But yeah, that was the end of that. So I ordered another dew strap from Amazon, and I think that was Saturday morning, and it came on Saturday night. Saturday night it was clouded out, but Sunday, the skies, my God, they were the best skies I've ever seen. Yeah, they were just absolutely stunning. I don't mean in terms of darkness. I mean, I've seen sort of Bortle 2 and Bortle 3 skies, and where I am it's Bortle 5. So quite, relatively dark compared to some places, but it was the transparency and the seeing. They were just phenomenal. There was no star flicker. It was just so still as well. A really nice sort of dry night as well. It wasn't damp or wet. Just a really nice sort of frost, a dry kind of frost. And I started imaging again. So astrophotography, setbacks and comebacks and persistence, I think they're the most important things, because little things like that can put people off, I think, for sort of a long time, but it's how you pick yourself up and keep going, and that's really important. And I guess doing landscape photography helps in that respect as well, because there's a big element of that in landscape photography. Just as an example, when I went to the Lake District in March this year, I went to a lake called Buttermere on a Saturday morning, and you wake up really early, you know, especially in March, probably waking up at about 4:30. And then you get there and it's cold, and you set your tripod up and you compose the image and you wait for the light, but it's just overcast and it's grey and dull and miserable. So what I decided to do was, luckily I'd booked a 4-day weekend, and I was coming home on the Monday afternoon, and I'm really glad that I did, because Sunday wasn't that much better, the light wasn't what it needed to be, but the forecast for Monday morning was really good, and I could see that it was just going to be clear skies. So I got there Monday morning, exactly the same thing, set the tripod up, composed the shot, and yeah, it was the best morning I've ever seen in my life. And I think the takeaway from that is that it's all about persistence. It's persistence with landscape photography. And yeah, those particular images that I got from that morning, they are the best that I've ever taken. And I've been doing landscape photography for about 5 years. So like I was saying, yeah, I think it just applies to astrophotography as well. I think that it's all about persistence, and it's all about keeping going, because it just stands to reason that you will improve at something the more you keep going. And if you do a hobby for 10 years and you just keep going and you spend enough time on it, you know, each week or every other week, but throughout those 10 years, you're going to get better images and you're going to get better at the hobby than someone who's only spent 2 or 3 years at it, because you've invested that much more time. And it's all about learning. It's just a huge learning process, really, to get to making incredible astro images. And I wouldn't say that my images are incredible. I've seen some that are on the forums that I'm on, but yeah, it's all about persistence. And those guys that do take those images, they've been doing it a long time. So yeah, I think that's the moral of the story with that one.